Welcome to Only One You Need Radio. We're not the only one you need. You are. We just show you how to get out of your own way. With your host, speaker, author, business coach, and consultant, David Dubé.
Welcome to Only One You Need Radio. It's your host, David Dubé. So excited to have you. In this episode, specifically, I'm going to share one amazing thing that has been a life changer for pretty much everyone I share it with. So it's a life changer. It's a game changer. It's awesome stuff. You might need to listen to it more than once, which is perfectly fine. Certainly recommend that. And if it does happen to help you, then do yourself a massive favor at the very end of this. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you rate this channel. All right? So if this is as good as I'm saying it is, and even if it's not, go ahead, say something. Make sure you do something about it. This is something that has caught people on fire and made them change. And I'm giving it to you on episode number 2. I'm not like waiting 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and a year, 2 years. There's no waiting here. We're getting to meat and potato kind of stuff. So I'm so excited. When I realized this for myself, life changer. When I presented this to many people, game changers. All right. Before I get to it, I have a very important question to ask you. And the question is this: what or whom is the most important thing in your life right now? What or whom is the most important thing in your life right now? I want you to think about that. You should have that in your mind as I'm talking, right? Instantly, you pretty much know who or what is the most important thing in your life, and that's huge. That's huge, so big. You have no idea. It's huge. All right. I digress. So let's get to it. I want you to imagine for a moment. Now, if you're driving, anything like that, do not close your eyes during this process. I'm sure you can open-eyed imagine this. Otherwise, if you drive a Mercedes-Benz, you're probably looking at one in your hood anyway. So imagine a circle with 3 equal segments on it. Essentially a Mercedes-Benz symbol. But don't think of the Mercedes-Benz symbol. Just whatever. Almost a peace sign, but not quite. So think about that symbol there. Not the symbol per se, but I want you to think about a circle with 3 equal segments in it. Now, the first segment of this circle, this is awesome stuff. The first segment of this circle is something I'm sure we can all agree on, that we all have this in common with each other. No matter where you are on the face of this planet, no matter where you go, we all have 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. Can we agree to that? Wherever we go on the face of this earth, we have that. 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. So we can agree to that. Good. Now that we've agreed to that, let's move to the second quadrant next to that one. In this quadrant, this is where things begin to change between you and me and everyone else. This is where things really begin to change. This is where people are different. It's what they do with their time. It's choices. Choices go in the second quadrant. What you do with your time, right? We all have 24 hours in a day. We also have this amazing ability to choose what we do with our time. This is pretty awesome. Wouldn't you agree? It's pretty awesome that when we can wake up and you can decide if you truly, truly desire not to brush your teeth in the morning. You have that choice. You also have the choice to go to work barefoot. You have that choice. Where others will wear shoes, you might not. You have that choice. You also, okay, I could go on and on. So I'll digress from here on that point. But the idea is, we all have 24 hours a day. And the cool part here, in the second quadrant, we can choose what we do with that time. Now, what you put in the bottom section of this circle, quadrant, that equal, I always put it in the bottom, could go anywhere, I guess, is the most important thing in your life. Goes right there. The most important thing. So that question I asked you earlier, what's the most important? What or whom is the most important? Now, let me tell you and share with you some of the answers I get for this. Some of the answers I get for that question are my son, my daughter, my significant other, my mother, my father, my best friend, my dog, my cat, and God. Okay, those are ultimately the answers I get for that. And I'm going to share this with you that changes everything. This is what changes everything, what I'm about to share with you right now. They're all wrong. Every single one of those answers is absolutely ludicrous and wrong. They're all wrong. They're all, you might be blown away. What are you talking about, David? What goes there is you. You are the most important thing in this world. You're the most important thing in this universe. You're the most important thing in the multiverse. I want you to think about that. You are absolutely more important than literally anything else in the multiverse. If you don't believe in multiple universes, you're the only, in this world, on the face of this planet, you are literally the most important thing. If you don't believe me, let's break this down for you. So, and I've had this, I remember vividly having this discussion. The first time I introduced this to a certain group, I'm not going to share the group, but I had several people get extremely angry at me with this. And the reason is because God was their number one. God is number one. No, you're wrong. And I remember how angry they got. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I relished the enjoyment of it. And I'm going to share with you why. So if this makes you mad, just hang on. I relished it. I really did. Because here's the deal. When I finally shared with them why, well, think about it. Without you, there is no God. Because if you never existed, well, then God never made you. I mean, think about that. You always had to exist for God to push you here. You have to have a relationship with God. Because if you're not here, there's no relationship with God. Do you get that? Without you, there's no children. You have no kids. Without you, you have no family. You've got no significant other. You've got no mother. You've got no father. You've got no best friend. You've got no best dog, best cat. You have none of that. None of it exists unless you're here, present, to exist. You can't experience the love of God until you are here to experience the love of God. You can't experience the love of someone else until you're here to experience the love of someone else. You can't be here and have all that you want without first being here. You have to exist. This is the thing that gets people, and when they figure that out, it's like, holy cow, okay, this makes sense now. I get it. I have to exist before anything can exist. If nothing exists without you first, guess who's in charge? Guess who's in charge? You are. Did you know that? You're in charge because you exist. That's it. You are a part of everything. And because of that, nothing can exist without you being a part of it. This is something that for a lot of people, it does take a little bit to get to wrap their head around. I'll be honest, it's going to take a bit. This can be a huge thing for a lot of people. It really can be. So I'm sorry to break it to you this way, but it's just the way it is. You have to be here in order to be a part of anything. To have anything be of importance to you, you have to be here first. This comes to caregivers, the caregivers of the world. If you're a caregiver and you're listening to this, let me tell you, feed your mouth first. Yes, it's a horrible thing to say to someone who's a caregiver and is like, that's not the way I live. I feed someone before I feed myself. Here's the thing. They can't keep getting fed if you're not here to feed them. And that's a hard thing for some people to swallow. That's a hard pill. Sometimes it's a horse pill. But you have to understand, if you don't have it, you can't give it. It has to exist within you before it can exist outside of you. So you are the origin of everything you experience. And maybe this is too far, but the circle of life, 3 quadrants, circle. First is time, 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. Second is that of choice. You have the option to do with that time which you choose. And lastly, you. Because you complete the circle. Without you, there is no time, and without you, there are no choices. Without you, there is nothing to experience. You get that? Experience begins and ends with you. You have to be here to experience anything. This is something I'm going to revisit again, I assure you of that. And with that, I'm going to close this podcast. So I appreciate all of you. I thank you so much for being a part of this. And if you have questions, once again, now I guess I didn't share this in the first one, find me on Facebook. I did share that. Find me on Facebook, facebook.com/be, believe, become. Find me there. I will be creating a private group where all of you who want to be a part of this and learn not only what I share here, but maybe other things and meet some people like my sister, you'll have to be a part of that group. And I'm really excited to begin to put that together, and so we can have much deeper discussion on all this. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, feel free to comment below. I will respond to those comments. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Make sure if you found this of value, make sure to subscribe. Make sure that you also leave a review as well. Love that. And I will see you on the next Only When You Need Radio. It's Dave Dubé signing out.